Hey, it's Big T. Today I wanted to try and visualize or animate, I guess, what a strike looks like. I think it's helpful to be able to kind of look and see what's going on in order to mentally picture that as you're fishing so that you understand how important it might be to make casts a certain way, position your flies a certain way, and to really know that any type of movement on your indicator, if you were suspension nymphing, means you better set the hook. Could be a fish there. So what I'm going to do is zoom in a little bit. I've been working on some equations on fly selection. Working on that. Should come out with some really good formulas here in the near future. Okay, so let's take a look at what's going on with our indicator and for strike detection. We've got our river flowing here. There's the water line, and we'll go ahead and draw a river bottom there. Your fly is naturally going to be angled backwards with slight bit of drag because the current up top generally runs faster than towards the bottom. When you've got a fish sitting here and it eats your fly as it comes over, this is tense. You have tension there. So that's going to immediately drop your indicator once this fish eats that fly as it drifts down. The problems that we run into can be numerous. Let's assume that we are moving our indicator up and down our leader instead of simply having tippet below us. Because our leader is tapered, the top portion is going to be fatter than the bottom section, or thicker, and it's not going to sink as slowly. So when those flies come down, you're going to have a bow instead of a direct line. This bow is enough slack that when this fish eats, the time it takes for that to tighten up and become taut could be enough time for that fish to spit the hook. So when you're suspension fishing, always try and maneuver your indicator up and down, tippet versus leader. That way you've got a consistency in the diameter of the line underneath the water. Another situation you can get into is if you've got too much line underneath the water. You've got your indicator set too deep, too much or too high. You end up getting your flies dragging back here, and again, there could be enough time for that slack to be taken up for this, in this circumstance, to become taut in order for your indicator to come down. I tend to err on being too shallow versus too deep because a fish is looking up, and I think will come up for a fly much quicker than they'll go down for a fly. If you're ever fishing and you're late on a lot of strikes, it could be that you're fishing too deep. Adjust that indicator, make it a little bit shallower. We also have a situation where we could possibly be fishing a fly that's lighter or less buoyant in the bottom position and a heavier fly above it. When that happens, you'll often get in this situation where second fly ends up dragging back here. Or there are also times where, because when you cast the top waters faster, this fly could actually be in front of. And I always caution people, anytime you get in a situation where your fly is in front and you have that kind of situation, if this fish eats, that indicator's got to travel a great distance before you have any tension there. And in that time, you're going to have, unless you've got something rubber that's scented, they're probably not going to hold on to the fly. So that's what's happening underneath the water, and a couple things to avoid while you're suspension nymphing. I hope this has been helpful. Please subscribe to my channel, and if you need anything for your fly fishing, please visit my store at bigtflyfishing.com.